Hi friends, today we are speaking to Mr. Tridivesh Singh Maini, who is a political analyst and a commentator and regularly comes on television in leading debates on news channels. We will be talking to him about tourism and the opportunities for students in universities abroad and what are the trends this year after the pandemic and what he sees in the future for the students. So over to Mr. Maini.
So, there are a few trends which we need to look at when you look at international higher education, specifically for this year. The first point is that whether we look at UK or US, there has been an increase in the number of visas issued to Indian students, and there has been a drop in the number of visas issued to Chinese students. Now, Chinese students still remain the largest group within the international student community, but Indian students are catching up in the UK and US. Now, there are reasons for this. The first point is that there is a deterioration of ties between China and the US. And a lot of Chinese students now are choosing, especially those who are enrolled in STEM courses like science, technology, engineering, and management. They are preferring to do the degree either in China or in other countries because US has tightened the visa regulations for students, Chinese students basically, enrolling in STEM courses. This started off from the Trump administration, but even the Biden administration has carried on with that policy. So what now, both UK, US, they need to make up for the drop in Chinese students, and there is a space there. Indian students, there is potential for them to enroll, especially in STEM courses. Now, both UK and US are, while tightening the visa regime for Chinese students, they are also liberalizing the process. So for instance, earlier there was no, the optional practical training for STEM courses was restricted. Now the US has added 20 more courses for which you can get optional practical training on the F1 visa. Even for the J1 visa, you can get an optional practical training of 3 years. Similarly, there are attempts now to ease out. So if you are a professional with skills and let's say you're in STEM, there is a greater chance of getting a green card. So these are things which we need to watch out for. There is always, when we look at the visa regime, when we look at education, there's always a tendency to approach it from black and white and not go through the fine print. So it's important to see the changes which UK, US and all are making. There is one point that from now on you will have to have skills, whether it's science, technology, engineering, management, whether artificial intelligence. The overall thrust of migration now is on getting more professionals from different parts of the world. So that is, Indian students should also, they need to watch out, that they don't focus only on what happens many a time is that they're told that getting a residency in a particular country is easier. But wherever you go, you must have skills, you must have proper degrees, and you should also be careful about what you're getting into. And the other thing is, apart from UK and US, now other countries are also trying to open up. You have, for instance, one example is United Arab Emirates. They are liberalizing the visas not only for professionals, even for students, and they are for international students, for instance, who are again in specific courses, science, technology, medicine. They need trained manpower. So there are opportunities. So the focus now students should focus on the area. The focus should be on the area of research, should be on strengthening your skills, and not necessarily sticking to the old courses, because many new courses are coming up which are far more, which actually give you greater, open up new avenues for you. So these are things which Indian students should need to bear in mind. There are many more trends, but these are some of the key trends.
And what about the countries that favor Indian students? Do you think Canada and US are still popular?
No, so that is based more on the merits and skills. Mm-hmm. And each country, at a particular point, it wants to diversify the international student pool. So now, for instance, with China, it's not only because of political reasons. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, also UK and US want to reduce their dependence. Similarly, Indian students now in Canada also there is obviously it remains a popular destination, but Canada also wants to diversify its international student pool. So that is why I'm saying that other countries should also be looked at. And I don't think if you have the skills, you'll really be at a loss, because many a time it's said that Australia, for instance, is tightening its visa, or UK or US, whatever. If you have the right skills, it also depends about the institution you're enrolling. That also is very important, where you're going. So if all that is fine, there's no issue, irrespective of whichever country you go to.
Great.